So, Amazon, the giant of global retail, is finally jumping into one of the world's most chaotic and expensive markets, India's 10-minute delivery war. But here's the catch. They're years behind everybody else. So we're going to break down whether this is a huge mistake or maybe, just maybe, a brilliant gamble.
And you got to understand, Amazon isn't just walking into a party. They're walking into a party that's already a full-blown brawl. I mean, the fight for 10-minute delivery in India is already this crazy cutthroat battle between established players like Zomato's Blinkit and Swiggy's Instamart who are fighting for every single customer.
So, that brings us to the big question, right? Amazon has more money than pretty much anyone. So why in the world did they wait so long to get in the game? Was this just a massive oversight, or is there something a little more calculated going on behind the scenes?
Okay, so to really get what's going on, you have to understand the battlefield Amazon's stepping onto. Let's just set the scene for how absolutely brutal this market really is.
Just take a look at the numbers for the top two players. Blinkit's revenue shot up an incredible 155%, but it still lost a cool 162 crore rupees. Instamart's story is even wilder. Revenue was up 113%, but their operating losses ballooned to an absolutely staggering 896 crores rupees. Their profit margin is negative 21%. Let's be real, this isn't a business model, it's a war where everyone is just burning cash.
And a huge reason for all that red ink? Well, it's this: discounts. The average discount on products has pretty much doubled in just 2 years, and it's now sitting at a massive 20 to 25% off the sticker price. Basically, these companies are paying you to use their service, just hoping you'll stick around for the long haul.
All right, so if the market is so insane, why the holdup from Amazon? Well, part of the answer isn't even in India. It's thousands of miles away, inside Amazon's own headquarters, where they were dealing with some major headaches of their own.
You see, right when India's quick commerce scene was exploding, Amazon was on this wild roller coaster ride. First, there was the huge COVID boom. Then, bam, a massive downturn as people went back to stores. By 2022, Amazon posted its first loss in years, and a huge chunk of that loss, it came from one really bad bet on an electric vehicle company.
That bad bet? It was on the EV maker Rivian. Amazon poured money into it, but in 2022, Rivian stock crashed by a jaw-dropping 82%. Just gone. That shock basically forced Amazon into survival mode. They slammed the brakes on hiring, paused projects, the works. They were only focused on what was making money. And jumping into a cash-burning market in India? Yeah, that was definitely not on the to-do list.
But, these global headaches, that was only half the problem. The other half was a whole different kind of puzzle waiting for them right here in India.
So it wasn't just about money troubles. In India, Amazon ran smack into a huge regulatory wall, the country's strict rules on foreign direct investment, or FDI. For years, these rules basically said that foreign companies like Amazon couldn't play the game the way they were used to. They were legally blocked from owning their own inventory, which, is the entire point of a quick commerce dark store.
I mean, the rules were super tight. Amazon was forced to be just a marketplace, a middleman connecting buyers and sellers. It couldn't own the stuff it sold, it couldn't mess with the prices, and it couldn't rely too heavily on any single big seller. This just totally flipped their entire playbook on its head and made launching a service like their rivals pretty much impossible.
Okay, so let's recap. Amazon was fighting fires all over the world and had its hands tied by regulations in India. It really sounds like they just missed their chance, right? But what if this delay wasn't a mistake at all? What if, and this is the interesting part, it was actually a strategic advantage in disguise?
And look, this isn't just some wild theory. There's a study from a top business school that actually points out that in some markets, being first isn't always best. Sometimes the one who shows up late actually has the advantage. Think about it. The first company's in, they have to spend a ton of money just figuring things out, and they often get stuck with an outdated model. But the late movers, they get to sit back, watch, and learn from all those expensive mistakes. They get to see what customers actually want and build their business for today's market, not the market from a few years ago.
And Amazon literally had a front row seat to this whole experiment. They got to watch big players like Dunzo and Geomart Express just burn through millions, wrestling with tiny profit margins and logistical nightmares. It's like they got years of free market research and their competitors paid the bill.
So now that Amazon is finally in the ring, they are not showing up empty-handed. Oh no, they're bringing a whole arsenal of secret weapons that their rivals can only dream about.
And here it is, their biggest weapon of all. Just look at this scale. Amazon has 200 million people using its app every month in India. That just completely dwarfs Blinkit and Instamart. It's this huge, ready-made customer base that they can basically switch on to their new service overnight.
But look, it's not just about the sheer number of people. It's the whole ecosystem. You're already on the app. You can just flip between 10-minute delivery and regular shopping. They've also got a delivery network that goes way beyond the big cities, where their rivals aren't really playing. And the early signs look pretty good. Prime members who are trying the new service are already tripling how often they shop.
So this all brings us to the one big final question. It looks like Amazon's strategy isn't just about speed. It's not just about being the fastest. They're leaning on their reputation for quality, their huge selection of products, and that all-in-one app. But here's the thing. In a market that is obsessed with speed and deep discounts, is that going to be enough to win India's absolutely brutal delivery war? Well, only time will tell.